It's the series that's been more drawn out than an advert break in Malta, but we probably need to add some sort of rapidsy type ride, given that it is pretty much the only thing left to add into the park. Let's go. Hello you guys, welcome back to Planet Coaster 2, welcome back to Nerdolandia, and welcome to an episode where Chacho's voice is destroyed because it was a bit of a heavy night last night. It was a fun time though, so all good. And if you are watching this, then I guess that means the episode has actually come out. Because as you know from last week's episode, we've got some weirdness going on in the game. And although there was a hotfix that dropped literally like yesterday, yeah, it's still not happy. It's still an unwell bunny. But anyway, we're going to try and soldier on, see what we can do. This is what we did last week then. It's our hydronic launch coaster from Intamin, and I quite like how it sits, you know. It's actually alright. I've loaded the park and it's fun. But onwards to bigger things. We need to do the rapids because this is the final ride build of the series, and then we're going to do like the wrap-up bit where we do all of the maintenance and stuff, and then we do the tour, and then we start a new park, I think, because to be honest with you, I'm starting to get to the end of this. I'm done. So here's the rapids ride then. It's a nice simple affair. I want to try my hand at doing the rotating platform, but I just don't know if the update's going to let me do it, because the game is very, very unstable now. Well, as you can see, this is what we've put into the park. Right, so and although I'm running a beast of a computer, it's struggling. So anyway, here's the station area. I've set it up to be a dual station affair, and we come around into a corner, and then it just meanders its way through as it's like going downhill slightly. So you've got a couple of rapids drops there. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there, and then we come down to this bit. This is ultimately where the main pool of water, you know, the collection pool would be, and I think I'm going to have all of the maintenance and stuff in this area here, and we're going to have the service pump and stuff here, and I need to find a way of hiding it along this side. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's not much to look at right now, is it? So let me go do some stuff, let me get some things to show you, and I'll be back in a sec. Well, the game is, shall we say, a little bit more stable, but it's definitely not happy, 100% not happy. I, however, am, because so cheesy, because this is sitting so nicely within the landscape. I didn't think it was going to, especially as I had a hill and stuff at the back here. It's just sort of like dug itself into the hill, but yeah, it actually sits quite nicely. Now this is all about infrastructure, this update, right? Because you have to do all of the infrastructure stuff first, but we have ourselves a reservoir pool, we have ourselves a pumping house, we have the station, we have all of the stuff. We're going to talk it through, right? So we're going to start actually down here, because this is the reservoir. This is where all of the water would go when the ride is off and it seeks to its lowest point. So you have a reservoir here. However, you don't want all of this water flooding into this reservoir because it's going to cause all sorts of mayhem. So you have a controlled flood. Now what you do down here is have your concrete channeling this way, and then you just have a little gap in here for the water to flood through. So the idea being it would flood this kind of pool first, and then when that's flooded and that's all full, then it would overflow into the reservoir, and then that's how it is. It's all pumped from this particular point. This one would be all water treatment and stuff. So this one is a particular point, and I have just put loads and loads and loads of effects. I think when I count it, well, I didn't count, but when the game counts this, I don't know if you can even see it. That's the thing. So like, you just see this one here, this one that's sticking up? It's supposed to be the water that's being pumped up in mass. It's actually 500 different fountains. So guys, if you download the park and I ruin your frame rate, I'm really, really sorry. But it's needed to give that whole propelled effect. So I like it though, I like it. So yeah, this would be the water treatment facility. I mean, I don't necessarily think you would treat the water in this. Canada's Wonderland certainly doesn't, because if you look at some of the videos, the water is quite literally green, but it's fine. I mean, this would be kind of water treatment, this would be the pumping, and then this would be the reservoir. I'm going to need to do foliage and stuff around here. This would be the maintenance access down to the reservoir, so of course you don't want to have sheer steps coming down because you're dealing with a very deep bit of water, so you have a split in your risers down this way, and normally a 90-degree angle is enough. So if you did happen to fall down the stairs, the worst is that you'd hit this shelf here, this shelf here, and then this shelf here, and then you're all good, so it'll be fine. And then of course you're going to need lots and lots of fencing around the outside of the reservoir, and I'm just going to put some foliage and stuff on here because it is of course split level. Now, so I do need to put steps and stuff in here because this is of course the evacuation platform. I haven't done any of that bit yet. But we're pumping the water up to this point, and then it's coming through here. But there's a lot of water that's going to be pumping through here, so you need to have some kind of overflow, and that's why this pool is here. It catches all of the water that's overflowing, and then of course it would potentially overflow. So then it would come down. It could come down into this one, and then it could come down into here. And I could actually make this a waterfall. I don't know if I'm going to yet. I'll see. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, there's lots and lots and lots of rock work going on. And by the way, I love the fact that the moss on the rock is all. I think it's procedurally generated. Well, no, I know it is because it changes when you move the rock around. The actual the moss itself changes. Now, of course, it's just a map texture that's right across the landscape, and all you're doing is you're exposing it when you move the rock. But it's nice that it's varied. No rock is the same, right? So, but yeah, so we've got this pool down here. This is like where the water would store. This is going to be a waterfall, so it's going to be a feature. So for that reason, I've put the ride camera in there. So that's the bottom part. The station itself then, there's lots going on here. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. So there is a blueprint on the workshop. I forgot the word. There's a blueprint on the workshop that's got a rotating platform. There's all sorts of witchcraft and wizardry that goes into making it move, and I can't make it work. But even if I did want to make it work, I couldn't, because the game crashes when I try and attach things to a rotating scenery piece. So I don't know what it is. So I'm just settling for a static platform. Guys, I'm sorry, I can't animate it even if I want to. So there you go. But ultimately what I'm going for here is a slightly raised concrete platform, and then this would be rotating round. And I've seen this before, and I'm kicking myself because I don't remember where it was, but it has the ability. So these rapids have the ability to hold its place here on this concrete platform, and then when they're unloaded, it releases it, and it then attaches itself to the rotating platform, moves it back round to the entryway, and then it holds it there. I don't remember where I saw it, but I know it's a thing. So this is kind of what I'm going for here. Then of course I've just put the paths and stuff over the top, and then underneath here you've got the height markers. Now there's nobody riding at this point, so this is absolutely fine. And then over here, this bridge has also got the height markers, but of course the bridge is slightly higher, so it's all good. So in terms of the rest of the station, then it's just a simple station building. It's just this cross lattice support. I don't know if you can see it very well. This cross lattice support. It supports itself because it's the whole arch principle and stuff. I don't want it to be any more than this. I don't know if this is actually too tall. I might actually need to bring the roof down, but the reason it's so high is because of this these stairs here. So it's all That's why. But then you've got maintenance areas, and you've got multiple. Oh, that's too high. I need to fix that. You've got multiple maintenance areas, right? So there's lots of concrete pads going around. You would want to lift boats off and put them all along here. But this is the main maintenance area, so I need to put a roof and stuff on the shed. This is where you then bring the boats in and out of the water, so that's why you've got the cranes. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, the blueprint that's on the workshop, the Rapids blueprint, I have taken some of the stuff from it. So this ramp has come from it. The spindles have come from it. I've slowed them down, but it's come from that. And then also this piece here, these ones, that's come from that blueprint as well. So credit where it's due. It was really, really good. So I thought, yes, I'll just, it's there, use it. So this is the main maintenance area. Just need to put some clutter and stuff, and then I've got access point coming through here. It's going to be breeze block and stuff because it's going to be quite a generic industrial kind of construction. And then I need to put gates and stuff on here, but I have just put in the maintenance service road and stuff here. I've put an escape platform here, so everywhere that you would have, or most places where you would have a drop like this, you'd have some kind of escape platform or emergency platform. So that's what I put in here, and just started to do the concrete and stuff. So that's all there, and then I've done the same over this side as well, but it just needs a little bit more love. There is going to be lots of rock and lots of mud and stuff going on in this one. I'm going to go for the Canada's Wonderland style. It just fits, it just works, so I like it. I really like it, actually. And then of course you've got your cattle pen queues and stuff, so I just need to put some queue covers and whatever inside here. And then the actual main area itself, I am going to copy across the idea of these little islands and put these in here with trees and stuff. I've started to do the fencing and whatever along here just to finish the railway up, so that's now going to be done in this episode. And then of course we've got some food units in here. I wanted them to be like log cabins and stuff because I think it's quite cute. I think this would fit in quite nicely with the whole Rapids theme. So got a couple of shops here. Then, of course, we've got a couple over here, and then we've got our ride photo unit that is going to be here. So that's right at the exit of the ride. So I think that's everything there is to talk about. I mean, it's going okay. The game's still crashing, but it's not as bad as it was. So I'm at least making progress. Fingers crossed. I'll see you in a minute. Well, this is an awkward thing that happened. I was all proud of my work and came up to this to do a big reveal, and it turns out I've covered everything in trees. Completely deliberate, by the way. I just wanted this to feel like it was Canada's Wonderland, and I have put lots and lots of trees around, but what I didn't realise was it's going to obscure the view from up top. So we're going to need to go down to peep level, I think. We're going to start down here because, guys, I love how this has turned out. Like, this is just so good. You can do some really, really fun stuff with the new water pieces. Like, look at these rapids and just look how it shimmers. I love how it shimmers. It's just, it's got so much character. So we're going to start down here because this is the maintenance area, and I am chuffed with this. Like, I wanted it to feel like a maintenance area, so we've got all of the clutter and all of the usual stuff, and I've just obviously put roofs and whatever and pipe work and stuff because this is the water treatment plant. But yeah, it looks right. It looks and feels fine. By the way, the special effects that I did put in here, you know, the 500 pieces I got rid. It turns out when you overload your park with the special effects pieces, it stops them all. So none of them are working, and I don't know why, I don't know whatever, but I took them out and everything just fired back up, so it's all good. So this is the reservoir pool then. I actually decided to lower the water level, partly because you can still then see the ripples and stuff on the concrete, but actually the right's in operation, so the water level wouldn't be high, and what that meant is that these were all wrong, so I needed extra vents and stuff, so that's what I've done. I think the water's not coming out of there, but I've just put it in there to make the water move, and it's all good. So in terms of the rest of the maintenance area, a couple of tanks around here, and I've put a fence right the way around the reservoir, except here because this is the point of entrance that you would want to actually maintain the area. A couple of pipes just to make it look and feel a little bit authentic, and a couple of lighting and stuff, and then you are good to go. So up here then, this is all of the the water the water return mechanism, so that's all good. A couple of tanks in here, and then here is the station. So I didn't actually tell you this in the last update. This is an exit path, and I've actually made it narrower. So you make a 4-meter path, and then you just narrow it off and have the 2 meters, and it works, as you can see. So I'm happy with that. Foliage here, there you go. So this stuttering, by the way, the camera tries to lock to trees when there's a lot of trees in the area, and because it doesn't know what tree to lock to, it completely freaks out. So forgive the stuttering. It's not a performance thing, it's a camera thing. So yeah, that's a thing. But anyway, lots of like deep foliage and stuff going on in here. It's just to give it a little bit of overgrowth and a little bit of depth. But yeah, I like it. I like how this is. Do you see that stuttering? That's so bad. Frontier, you need to fix this. It's just the fact that it locks to scenery is just ridiculous. But anyway, and let's not bring this down because we're liking this. So inside here, I've just actually put the fences and stuff up in here, keeping it nice and simple. It doesn't need to be any more than that. And then, of course, we've got the entrance station here. So a couple of bits of detailing, you know, life rings and a little bit of clutter and whatever. And then there is the pathway down to the emergency evacuation. So let's take a look round the rapids then, because there is a lot that has been done. So lots of overgrowth. Overgrowth is the actual king of this build, and I love it. So this little pool here, it's great. It's an overflow. So if there's too much water in the channel, it would just overflow into here, and then it would just continue. So I just made it move a little bit. Don't come down too far because it's up in the it's up in the sky. But you kind of have to place it there. That's the way it is. It's just the way the game deals with it. So it's fine until we get dynamic splashes. It's just not going to work. So we come around this way, and then you have the evacuation platform here. That's all now done and dusted, and then you've got the first drop. So there's the first drop there, and we're going to come around this way, and it looks good, right? I've sort of like buried it all in rocks and foliage and stuff, and it feels just like you're wandering through the forest. If I change the camera, look, there's all the canopy and whatever, and from down here actually it doesn't look too bad. It's just a lot of trees to contend with when you're looking at it from above. So there's the main bridge that we were dealing with in the previous one. So there's all of the height markers and stuff on there. And then as we go this way, we're just going to continue to meander our way through the rapids, and then you've just got all of the rocks and stuff down here. Of course, from up here in the pathway, you actually get a pretty decent view of the rapids. Turn around here. I quite like that it's almost like sunken into the ground, and it's a little bit forbidden rapids, but it's cool. So there is the next escape platform, and of course I have just put the pathways and stuff in here, so I've just made that all make sense, and the foliage and whatever has actually brought that to life. So I like it. It's all good. Then we come into a drop, and then we come under the bridge, which is the next maintenance area. It doesn't need a height marker on this one, by the way, because the bridge is actually quite tall. And then this is the maintenance area here. So just a bit of clutter, a bit of filth just put inside here. And then we've just got like the ramp and whatever for where we saw that in the last update anyway. A couple of gates and whatever just to sort of separate the area around, and then we're going to continue this way. This one doesn't have an escape platform, partly because it doesn't actually have an escape strategy, so it's fine. We're just going to have one without. But I think this is my favourite bit of the ride now, because when you're down here, you get some really nice views of the last bits of the dive coaster and stuff. So when that's actually in operation, I don't know if there's a train coming. Can I hear a train coming? I don't think I can. When it's all in operation and stuff, you get some really nice views of trains and stuff. So yes, love it. So then we're going to continue around this way, and then we're just going to go through some more rocks. And I love, like, at this point you don't really see much of the maintenance buildings and stuff. It's all still feeling very enclosed and very claustrophobic, and it's exactly how it should be. And then we come around this way, and then we just come back to another retention pond. So there is the bigger retention pond, but there, of course this is a bit more high key. I don't know what a bit more major. I don't know what word I'm trying to find. I really don't. Help me out, guys. But yeah, we're going to come around to the waterfalls, and I think this works. I didn't want it to be like massive raging waterfalls, but I also wanted it to be wet, a wet ending. So there you go. And then we're going to just walk. No, we're not. We're going to sail around this way. There's the ride photo, and then there is the final escape platform and stuff. So that's the emergency platform. So love it. Love it. So then we're going to come up to this side so I can show you the main area. So I've tidied all of this up. Of course, I've just put some cypress trees and stuff in here, but we now have bins and benches and everything all along here. This is now the central areas, and it just sort of makes it feel consistent. You've got the two here and you've got the two here, and it just works. Didn't need queue covers on this, by the way, because the queues are under quite a bit of shade from all of the trees, so we'll take it. And I quite like how the queue just cattle pens its way through the shade. It's actually quite a nice queue to be in the summer, so I'm happy with that. Let's take it. So there's the photo unit. I've kept it really simple. Don't want this to be any more than this. Well, apart from the fact I'm going to need to put a printer in, but that's fine. So that's the ride photo unit, and then this is the first of the food units. This is the Gelato Bros, and I've just used the same kitchen stuff on the back just to give it a little bit of depth and a little bit of detail, and it's all looking sweet. And then we're going to walk through this way, and then we're going to come over to here, the next pizza pen, and then again that's just had all of its detailing with the same kitchen set, just different stuff though, because of course it would do, it's a pizza pen, and then just a bit of clutter with some signage and whatever just to make it come to life. But I quite like actually how this has sort of, it just comes to an end, and this is the entrance. I kind of wanted it to feel like maybe this went through this way before the Intamin was in, but you also get some really good sights and whatever of the top spin and the Intamin here, so I like it, right? Yeah, the whole area has actually come together. And when we come up to the top here, this is how the park is then looking, and it's just, well, it's nearly finished. We've just got to do maintenance areas and car parks next week, and then we're good to go. So we've got maintenance areas and stuff coming in the back here, because that feels like that's where it's going to be. And of course I need to do the car park on the front here and make all of this now actually make sense. But, whoop, that's the autosave. There we go. That's the park, and it's been a series, hasn't it? It really has. Guys, thank you for getting to the end of this episode. I absolutely appreciate you. I really do. If you haven't already, please leave a like and a comment, subscribe, you know, all the usual stuff. But otherwise, I will see you next week. Let's go for a run on the rapids, shall we? Let's see what it's actually like from peep level. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
also has